Happy Soulful Saturday. Come on in. It's time to get busy. Alrighty, so who is here this morning? This afternoon, I should say. It is 1 o'clock after all. Come on in, y'all. Let's do this. Hello, Rebecca. And Deborah, good to see you. Happy Soulful Saturday to you. Hello, Denise. Hi, Lane. And who else is here? Slowly but surely, step by step. Okay. Where's little... There's Jenny. Hello, Yolanda. And there's Elizabeth. And Marguerite. It is Soulful Saturday. I'm excited about it too. Gwen is here. So is Virgie. Hello. Hello, Martha. Everyone is in the house. Elizabeth is here too, and so is Cheryl. In Seattle, how's the weather? We just finally got the clouds out. We've got sun. We have sun. Hello, Abigail. Susan. Good to see you. Oh, Gwen, it's delightful to see you. Hello, Susan. Hello, Joanne. And there's my girl, Lucy. There's Marla. Hello, Maggie. Good to see everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are talking about soul hunger. Anybody have that? I know. We got all the things going on, and where's my little list? There it is. Hello, Trisha. Why don't you drink hot milk mix on the show right now? You know, because I have not put it together. You know, and it was funny because yesterday I was thinking I was exhausted around 4 o'clock. And I thought, you know, I need a little hot milk mix. So anyway, yes, you're right. How's our sign up going, Marla? Oh, I'm so sweet. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you. I try to be uplifting. And today I hope to be very uplifting. And I hope today everybody is signing up for next Saturday. Next Saturday, there will be no Soulful Saturday, by the way. There won't be any tea time. There won't be any Marla show either. So we're going to be gone. We're going to be in our conference. 194. Well, I know we're going to hit 200 before the end of the day, but I want you to know something. This conference that Marla and I are putting together is because this is basically what you've asked for. Because, you know, sometimes we give it away all the time, every single day. But now we've pulled it all together and we're showing you, do this, do this, do this, do this. And here's the thing that I'm looking at. It's a matter of you leaving that conference feeling absolutely filled up, heart, mind, and soul, and having a plan of what you're going to do next, and always being able to go back to the conference and watch it. Yes, it's recorded, and having a notebook full of good, juicy, actionable tidbits. That's how we roll. So excited about this. Very, very excited about this. We're tingling. Lane's all signed up. Good. Yeah, you should be excited too, Eileen. I'm so glad you're going to be there. Everybody who's there, you know, and you will get a chance to raise your hands and ask questions. It's almost like being in person. And there is an intimacy that's involved there. Believe it or not, there's an intimacy. We will have people there chatting with you the whole time and helping you out. The tech part of the equation, it's like getting onto Facebook Live. It's just a different platform. I promise you, it's easy. If you have questions, you can always ask. We are there to help you, support you, and take you all the way. We're not going to just hang you out to dry. So, you know that on Monday, the Collagen Challenge starts. It's just a 5-day thing. We've got some recipes to go. It's to show you the importance of collagen in your life. 97% of us have a deficit of collagen. And when you understand that collagen is more important for your bones even than calcium, there's more collagen in your bones than calcium. 97% of us have a deficit of it. That's why we're all about the bone broth, all about paleo protein. We got to get it in. And when you get it in, not only are your bones going to thank you, but the rest of your body tissues are, and it's going to show up on your face, your skin, your hair, your nails. I call it the beauty supplement like nobody else's business. It's crazy. The other thing is, don't forget, ships free thing. Put 3 of these glycozymes in your cart, and you know what happens? You get a 4th one free. Just put 3 in there. The 4th one will be sent to you free. If you order $200 worth of supplements, I send you a little mindful mug, because that's how we roll. Don't forget, ships free, all one word, is your promotional code. Friday's Q&A, and you know we always show up for Q&A. If you have a question, send it into Saving Dinner, support at savingdinner.com, and question for Leanne on Friday. We'll answer it. You'll get your nutrition questions answered. You'll get your cooking questions answered. You'll get the things answered that you need answered. How's that sound? Deal? We have a new quote of the week, and I have to tell you, when I find quotes, it's like, wow, this is appropriate. This one popped out at me today, or a couple of days ago. The most creative act you will ever undertake is the act of creating yourself. Thank you, Deepak Chopra. And I thought, could this not be the most appropriate ever quote for what we're about to embark on next Saturday? You know, this is a place, Saturday is all about building out what it is that you want for your life. You've heard me say 150,000 times probably at this point, is this creating a life that I want to lead? Is this going to give me the vibrant life that I want to lead? Well, I'm here to tell you, and you know this too, you're connected, heart, mind, body, soul. Your genes and what size they are and what size you want them to be and all of that, if that's all you're going to go for, just the physical side of who you are, you're going to be disappointed. But if you start to connect yourself, with everything, you're going to start eating well because you're going to want to feed your soul, body, and mind. You're going to start connecting to all the things that you want in your life and see the interconnectability of all of it. There is a golden thread that goes through the whole thing. It's a beautiful thing. And your house very much is a reflection of who you are right now. If you want that to be different, and if you want your body to be different, if you want your mindset to be different, if you want your soul to feel comforted and fed, you got to be there next week. I'm serious. savingdinner.com/house. All the information is there. Plus, one thing that we're saying, okay, it's $47, but your swag bag with all the goodies in it is worth more. It's like a $75 value, including the audio version of Body Clutter. Marla and I, basically, it's the audible version of the book. You can get it. It's not available anywhere. You can't buy it. We used to sell it a few years ago, but it's off the site. If you want that, you know where to go. Go check it out, and you can see all the stuff that's available. So today I wanted to talk to you about soul hunger. My soul has been thirsty and hungry lately, just so much. And I just, as a matter of fact, get this, I've had the same Bible since I was first married in 1986. A New King James Bible with lots and lots of notes. I used it in at my radio show. I had the whole thing notated. It's missing. I don't have it anymore. It's gone. All those years, all those notes, all the everythings, and it's gone. So I ordered a new Bible online last night, and I was thinking, that's just so sad, because I had been looking and looking. I kept thinking I was going to find it. No, it's not there. So now I got to start over, but sometimes starting over isn't okay. Some of those notes that I have in there, some of the stuff that I have in there is just not, it's not where I am anymore today. One of the things that happens to us as we start to actively feed our souls, I believe, is that we actively start to expand the borders of our heart. We become more expansive. We become more empathetic. We become more loving. We become more inclusive. You know, we can feel the pain of others. We can feel how it feels to be disconnected. And our heart's desire is to connect. That's what souls do. That's who we are. And you know, our little bodysuits that we're in, it's just a home. It's the home and the house for our souls. You know, it's in that box where other things are from your bathroom. You know, well, there was a book box too that's missing. I lost a ton of books. So, you know, we have these weird movers that just didn't do a very good job, and we lost quite a few things along the way. And one of them was my Bible. Anyway, but you know what you know where I am right now? It's okay, because I have a new Bible coming. It's in larger print. Does that make me an old lady? I don't care. But it's in larger print. New King James, just exactly what I had before, and I'm thrilled. I woke up with this Bible verse today. Be still and know that I am God. You know it. Psalm 46:10. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. But the whole thing that I wanted to talk about today is this idea of our souls not being fed on a regular basis. They don't get fed on a regular basis unless we are proactively into my soul needs to be fed. Having a quiet time and having a place where you can commune with God and having a place where your spirit is completely fed and sound and quieted and peaceful. That's what happens when we commune with God. That's what happens when we're still, knowing who God is and how he is the God of the universe, the God of all, the creator of everything. How itty-bitty, teeny-tiny, inconsequential we seem, and yet how interested in everything he is about us, right? The hairs on our head, not just the numbers of the hairs on our head. He knows the If I pulled this hair out right now, he'd say, oh, Leanne, you just pulled out hair number 458. He knows that kind of detail about us, the God of the universe who created it all. That's being still and knowing who God is. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit today. I have 7 things for you that I hope you will find actionable, that will be helpful for you as you go through your week this week, wanting to move the needle in your life, you know, wanting to move the needle, wanting to expand your empathy, expanding your beautiful self that houses your intuition, your knowing, your empathy, your love, and who you are. The number one thing, of course, is being still and knowing who God is. I just expanded on that a little bit. That being stillness is really hard for a lot of us. We're all over kingdom come, aren't we? We're just bopping around, can't keep a straight thought. I'm like that. I am. Ask Jenny, ask Marla. They know me well. All over the place. It's easy to be. But that place of being centered, that place of just having that calm and peace, that's being still and acknowledging and knowing God. Knowing, even though we can't completely comprehend him, we can know he is God. That is enough. And number 2 is listening. I put 2 worship songs on my Facebook page. Caroline's been sharing them with me. And just incredible worship. I mean, I had tears streaming down my face. And you know, I want you to know too that it also stimulates the vagus nerve when you are listening to music. That's settling, that's calming, that's peacefulness, that's feeding your soul. Listen to that music. Allow it to overflow. Allow it to wash over you. Have you ever been in the ocean and you're just having a beautiful day at the beach? Well, we used to go to, grew up in California. We used to do it all the time. And I remember as a child sitting there on the beach, with my feet in first and just my hands back in the sand and just letting the water just come over me for hours. And of course, getting a sunburn and what have you, but laying in bed and feeling the waves. Do you remember doing that? That's what I think about when I think about music and how the spirit washes over you and you can feel it hours later. You can feel it hours later. Allow music to feed your soul. And I think not just worship music, but you could put on a little Motown and boogie your heart's content out and just express yourself this way. This is how we feed our souls all the way. Our souls are fed when we are allowing other things in besides just one thing. I mean, if we get hung up on just doing one thing, we don't get the full expression. There's a full expression there if we just allow it in. Number 3, and I love this. I was baptized in the Episcopalian Church. I love the Book of Common Prayer, and I love, it's full of the Bible too, of course, taken out. You got the Apostles' Creed, you've got all of these recitations at the Lord's Prayer. You know them. These recitations are a beautiful thing, and the words are carefully selected, and the words have been recited through the ages over and over and over again. They resonate through the generations, I love that because I know that when I say the Apostles' Creed or I say the Lord's Prayer, this is something that has been recited over and over again and over and over again. And you think about the glory of all of that. You think about it resonating into the universe and into the clouds, and you know that your voice is being held up with others. If you start to think about the magnificence and the echoes and how it just comes out, it's the ripple effect. That's a beautiful thing. And yeah, Marla, right, it is foundational. It is a foundation of what our faith is. It's also foundational for feeding your soul, this recitation. I love that so much. And our prayers are a recitation. I don't know if you ever saw, what was it, Bruce Almighty? Did you ever see Bruce Almighty? It's a funny movie. And Bruce changes places with God. And one day he's in there and he's like, all of a sudden hearing all the prayers. And he's like, whoa, what is all of this? And I always thought about that, because how is it that God can hear all of our prayers? How is it? Well, he's God, right? He's God. But the cool thing about it is that our voices are heard. The voices, it's a beautiful thing for him to hear the voices of his people. He wants to hear us. And so as we pray, as we put these words, these prayers out, our voices are going up with so many other people's voices. Do you ever think about that? I think about that all the time. And it just, I think it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, and it feeds your soul. And then there's reading. Whether you're reading a spiritual book or the Bible, or reading quotes, whatever it is that you're reading, that is soul food. And there is so much research to show that as we read, we do feed ourselves body, soul, and mind. We change our minds because of information, but we also change our minds and expand out our empathy and our love and our kindness and everything else with new ideas, with the wisdom of others. And this is how we, again, collectively gather, and how important is this when we're still in the middle of a pandemic, for heaven's sakes, and pretty much most of us are still, keeping our distance, but there is a connection and a community that we're connecting with every time we do things like this. I love that, because that is just one more way of connecting, and I need that. I don't know about you, but I do. And then there's this other thing. Have you heard this before? I'm sure you have. Lift up your voices. You can read it in the Bible over and over. Lift up your voices unto the Lord. Lift up your friends. Lift up others in prayer. Lift up your hands in just pure worship. This lifting up, you can feel it inside. As we lift up, we feed our souls. As we lift up, we are lifting our chins up. We are gazing toward the heavens. Our face is toward God. Our face is toward God, and his face is toward us. There is a love that's being communicated when we lift up and when we worship. And then there's a second part of it that I think is just as critical as number 6, is releasing everything. We hold dear all these tenets of what we think and what we think we know. Do we know it all? Absolutely not. There's a place for humility, and there's a place for laying it down. There's a place for saying, I just don't know. There's a place for surrender. Do you remember Surrender Dorothy, in The Wizard of Oz, just right across the sky? What is surrender? Surrender is to put down and to give up. And sometimes that is an act of worship. And sometimes that is the way that God fills that void because you've given up something. This is what forgiveness is. You give up the right to be angry and to hold, just hold this angerness. No, I didn't. I went from 2. Okay, number 1, be still and know I'm God. 2, listen. 3, recite. 4, proactive reading. 5 is lift up. And number 6 is release it all. We release everything to God. We release it. We say no more. We say we're done. We say that that's enough. We're not going to hold this angst against someone. We're not going to be bitter. We're not going to be unforgiving souls. When we're unforgiving, there's nothing here. There is nothing you can do. There is no way to enter into that fortress. Unforgiveness puts up a wall that is impenetrable, truly. And God doesn't work with unforgiveness. That is a hardness of your heart. He works with soft, pliable, amenable hearts. We cannot be unforgiving. We have to surrender that at the foot of the cross. And the 7th thing is, if you look outside and you can see God in nature, you're communing with him because he created all of it. And if you really want to get your eyes just absolutely on fire, go take a look at unusual creatures. Just Google that and just go look at the unusual creatures. Look at a duck-billed platypus. Who else but God could come up with something like that, right? And what a great sense of humor he has. Think about kangaroos and think about how baby kangaroos grow. They look like little lizards that crawl up their mommy's tummy, and then they go into the pouch, and that's where they develop. Why? For whatever reason, that's how it works. And then I look at all of this and I think, wow. I look at orchids and the intricacy of an orchid and all the different orchids that are out there. Think about everything. Think about all of this and look at a plant. I have these little shamrocks that Marla gave me. And one of my favorite things to do is to talk to them and to watch them move as I speak to them. God is in everything. He's present, he's available, and he's all the time sweetly smiling and saying, look, I'm going to make the shamrocks talk to you. That fills my soul. This is how we get from the place of being starving and sad and constantly negative to being positive and to being filled up to overflowing. Abundance is who God is. He's not about scarcity. He's not about taking things away from you. He's not about making sure that you're punished. That's not who he is. He is love. Read the Bible. Over and over again, God is love. Read it. God is love, and he communicates his love continually. He communicates it in nature. He communicates it in song. He communicates it in the sun. He communicates it in the rain. He communicates it in the way that you worship him, and he comes right back and gives it to you in all the ways that he can, because he cares for you. The Bible tells us so over and over and over again. We are never, ever, ever without his love. The only time we're without his love is when we push him away. We push him away, and we push away our souls being fed by holding on to the negativity of this world. If you saw me yesterday, I called somebody out for being negative on Marla's show. And I did that simply because negativity is never going to get you to the place of understanding how loved you are, how continuous God's love is, and how much connection and community is all around you. You cannot see any of it if you're stuck in this myopic little tiny view of the world and the scarcity in it and the things that you can't have. You know? we open our hearts to gratitude, we open our hearts to throwing down the stuff that has held us back, like unforgiveness, we open our hearts to each other and community and connection and love and beauty. Think about all those things. That's soul food. It will light you up over and over and over again. That's why we do it daily. We need it daily. We're hungry daily. So keep this in mind. Be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of the people around you. Look for God in them. And think about this when you go to a grocery store or you're out to a restaurant or whatever you're doing. Think about ways that you can hand somebody a little piece of God's love by being kind, by being sweet, and by saying something that's caring and loving and gentle and kind and lifting up. I believe we have a duty to be that way, a responsibility as kingdom goers, right? As kingdom seekers, as people who are a part of this community. Our lives are important, and they make statements every single day, whether you know it or not. There are eyes on you. If you have little children at home, they are going to be doing what you do. You are their example. If you don't, and you have a spouse at home and you're constantly negative, constantly complaining, nothing's ever right, your life is going to be tiny and small, and your soul is going to be hard, and you're not going to have room for all this juicy loveliness that we just talked about. Lift up your life, lift up your hands, worship fully, and know who God is. Be still and know that I am God. He will never leave you. He will never forsake you. He's created you on purpose to be here right now at this time, in this particular, even in this pandemic. We are his workmanship. Never forget that, because you've got work to do. Peace. I appreciate you all, and I will see you next Saturday, right? Don't forget, savingdinner.com/house. That's how you get into the conference, and that swag bag is worth probably double what the cost of the conference is. You're not going to regret this. I'm going to also tell you one more thing. You get this forever, too. This conference is recorded. You get a copy of it, plus you get to keep the notes that you're going to make yourself. And I promise you, Marla and I right now are in prayer about this, and we are coming fully expecting to bless your socks off and to let you leave this conference feeling like brand new women. I want that. Don't you want that? I know you do. Peace. I'll see you tomorrow.